something crosses the road. It's skeletal like, fleshy, and it stands up, and then it like kind of just almost like leaps.
They look back and they see one. Clear as day. It walked 5 feet away from my audio recorder. We just saw a Bigfoot. Holy crap.
I've been pinched, I've been tapped on the shoulder, I've had my name hollered, a hand came up underneath my left arm. I said, little son of a bitch tried to get me. That was the time that I decided you don't sleep inside that building.
Did you see that?
The cow cur, it's big, it's white, and it runs faster than any man could ever run. And it would lean out behind the tree. And that's why we never go out, because the booger will get you.
Has to be shame.
He's not gonna stay. It does look better.
I'm
You know, I kind of like the idea of being able to decorate our background, and it kind of saddens me because I'm in a space that is really confined by a bunch of other things. This is me and the wife's bedroom, plus we share it with the baby, so there's not a whole lot here to be able to try to decorate for things like this. Eventually, we will get there.
Once we can get a studio and we can do it, we can decorate it more.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
Yeah.
Welcome to another episode of This Brilliant Unknown. I'm Luke.
I'm Dustin.
And today we talked to Ayana about her Wendigo encounter. And we also have a little other stuff we are doing today where we're going to talk about the legend and the lore of the Wendigo.
Yeah. Give us a like for our little Wendigo buddies here.
Shout out to the people from the PA Bigfoot Camping Adventure gave us these.
Did you get a business card from them?
I don't remember if I did or not.
I don't think that I did. They were really cool to talk to.
Yeah, they were. And let's do some podcast mentions.
In the beginning? Or we do those at the end?
Oh, no, we do those at the end. Sorry. It's been a while.
It has.
We actually recorded something.
It has been a minute. But yeah, talking about the event. Let's go back to that. We talked it up all year. And then it finally happened. And I was rather pleased with the way that we had things set up. Like, we had the banner, we had the tablecloth, you got the cup. Shout out to the cup.
Got the cup.
Which is on our website, by the way. That is really cool.
They're good quality cups there. I like them. I'm glad we got them for the event.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. And the shirts. We got shirts too now. Don't forget.
We got shirts.
Yep. Well, we met a lot of cool
I don't
people.
have mine on.
Oh, you don't have
mine
yours on
today. I'm wearing a different one.
Don't stop believing. Yeah. I would like to get some of those graphics that Renee had on a t-shirt. Like the one that said Bigfoot doesn't believe in you either. Or the one that said Bigfoot saw me, but nobody believed him.
Bigfoot tried to eat my ass.
Bigfoot tried to eat my ass. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. That's right. And then your dad got that shirt too that said Bigfoot tried to grab
my wiener.
Bigfoot grabbed my wiener. That's what it was.
Oh yeah.
So
at a campsite carrying off a hot dog.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I guess we should kind of explain a little bit more for people that aren't sure what we're talking about. If have never seen that before, they might think that we're talking about something. Right. We're gonna get canceled.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah. Well, on the back of that shirt, we'll have to put that one that says Bigfoot Tried to eat my ass. Or tried to eat my ass. Which one is it? I don't know. It's, the commas make a difference. Although I guess that wouldn't matter. That wouldn't be grammatically correct anyways. Never mind. Let's get into this. So, the Wendigo.
What is the Wendigo? The Wendigo is this thing right here. If you're watching on YouTube, if you can't see, if you're listening to this on Spotify or any other places, a Wendigo is a creature that's from native folklore that was a spirit. And it lives in the cold weather. I gotta pull up my notes. I suck. I'm gonna have them pulled up.
No, you're good. Now you say native folklore. What do you mean by native folklore? Is it like Native American, North American,
Native American,
Native American,
North American?
Now I was from some of the articles and things that I was reading. Algonquin, is that the native?
Yeah.
Is it, what is it like? I don't think I've ever heard of that.
Tribe.
I think, you know what? No, I did hear that. I think Ashley had mentioned the name Algonquin when we talked to her.
It's a tribe.
It's a tribe.
Wendigo is a carnivore and a cannibalistic monster. And they said it was also to help scare people into not eating other people when it came down to hard times in the winter time.
Yeah.
Now, they say the spirit of the Wendigo can possess you into becoming a Wendigo. And once you become this Wendigo, then you will start being a cannibalistic person as well.
So, what do you think? Do you think the Wendigo is a real thing, or do you think that, because I don't know, I feel like there's things. I feel like there's things. Did you just say rar?
Yeah.
I feel like things that are written and told throughout history have some truth to them.
I believe so.
But I also believe that there were things put into place to keep free people from doing certain things like cannibalism. And because, you know, in the wintertime, things were harder. It was harder to find food, harder to stay warm. So it wouldn't be, I'm not saying that it wouldn't be hard. From my perspective, it would be very hard to be a cannibal. And yeah, I couldn't make that decision. But if I had to make that decision, then I would. But I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that it's something that was put into place to fear or to keep people right?
Well, see, that's the thing. There's multiple different people believes it's real. Some people don't believe it's real. And some people actually seen this creature. So is it a spirit? Or is it like a flesh and blood creature? Which I don't think I'm more leaning towards like some kind of spirit than a flesh and blood creature.
Yeah, I would believe that. I would believe that, because we know that with the Wendigo comes flesh eating, obviously. But like whenever I was looking it up, the transformation is what I'm talking about. From human to Wendigo, they say that the person becomes increasingly selfish and violent and greedy.
Yeah.
And those are all things that, well, obviously are sin, first off, according to certain religions.
Yeah, I saw that stuff too whenever I was also doing the researching. They say it could also happen to selfish people and people like that as well.
Yeah, and if it is a spirit, spirit can possess, according to some. So why couldn't that spirit possess you, and then you have those characteristics or whatever?
Yeah, it's hard to say. obviously, it's a well-known creature. A lot of people heard about the Wendigo, and some people say it doesn't look like a antler creature. And some people say it's just like a pale white creature with yellow eyes and sharp teeth and a long tongue.
Yeah.
So there's also different. I don't want to say variants of the Wendigo, but maybe different like traits.
Yeah. Some of the things that I was finding was also linked to like mental illness. There's a thing that I came across. It was called Wendigo psychosis.
I heard that whenever I was doing my research as well.
Yeah. It was saying that people or individuals are driven to cannibalism despite having access to other food sources.
Mm-hmm. Which that's interesting as well. I'm not sure if I could just be like one day, oh, that person looks good, I'm gonna just go eat them.
I'm just gonna go take a bite out of somebody. You know, I have thoughts sometimes, but they're not. None of them involve biting or eating somebody. Like usually, it's like I could be sitting there talking to somebody, and then I have the thought that comes across my mind. It's like, what would they do if like I just reached out and smacked them? We're just having a normal, perfectly civil conversation, but what would they do if I reached out and honked their nose?
Oh god, that'd be fucking hilarious.
That's the kind of dude. That's how my brain works. But I think that there is a part of the brain that you could lose connection with that would make you crave those kinds of things, or you know what I mean. I could see that being a possibility, but there were real life encounters and stories. There was historical accounts of the Wendigo. One famous case is that of Swift Runner, a Cree man who during the winter of 1878 killed and ate his family, later claiming he was possessed by a Wendigo. That's insane.
That's interesting. Watch out, I'm gonna go eat my family tonight.
That's not even funny.
That's gross.
Yeah. Anyways, I guess, all right.
That's like Ted Bundy type shit.
Yeah. You know, I'm like not real into the psychopaths and serial killers and things like that. Renee is. And there's sometimes like she'll say things like, I don't know, she'll say a random fact that's like completely insane, and it makes me fear for my life. Not gonna lie. There's a part of me that's like, if you decided to ever just me, like
Oh, that's crazy.
I can't remember what it was. She said something the other day, and I was just like, I just looked at it. Like, I always give her the look, and I'm just like,
you okay?
You all right?
Should I be afraid?
Right. Even to this day, we have people having encounters with this Wendigo spirit. Why are you making faces? You're trying to distract me. Yeah, I know. I see you. But today we have Ayana, who has had an encounter with a Wendigo. And also, she's going to tell us a story about Amelia, the twins, and the murder wagon. Oh, my Wendigo fell this entire time. Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's do it.
So, welcome to the podcast. Thanks for taking the time out to do this. I remember we had met you at the PA Myths and Legends. So, you've had quite a bit of experience with the paranormal. Luke was telling me some of the encounters that you had, even at a young age, discovering your abilities as a medium. Is that right?
Yeah.
Would you mind walking us through what that experience was? Whenever you first realized that you had abilities?
In 2008, I believe it was a field trip for my older sister. We went to Gettysburg. We went on a tour of the orphanage, and everybody was sitting down. I was like 4 years old, and they had a table with trigger objects on it, and I was sitting underneath the table, and I was playing with, I think they were Hot Wheels cars, and my mom came over and asked what I was doing.
Oh.
And I said, yes, sir. And there's the little girl and the little boy. And everybody was kind of freaked out for a minute. And the people who were running the tour, even they had a little bit of a moment where they were like, what's going on?
That's wild.
And I don't think there's been a day in my life since then where I haven't been talking to somebody.
So now, when you hear them, their spirits, right? That you believe that they're spirits that you're communicating with?
Absolutely.
Do you audibly hear them, or is it something that is occurring inside your head?
I hear them. I see them. It's a whole thing.
I couldn't imagine seeing them. I know from time to time I'll hear in my head, I don't know, some people, they can either hear their voice or they see pictures whenever it comes to envisioning things or thinking about things. And my thing is both. And a lot of the times for me, I can hear it in my head, like it's my own voice, but it's not my thought.
It's definitely something that you have to get used to. I come from a very long line of people who have various abilities in this sense.
Now, whenever they show themselves to you, do they show how they died? Do they, like, what do they look like? I feel like I would be encountering one that would be, I don't know, decapitated or something like that would freak me out really bad.
So it varies, and I'm not an expert or anything, but it really depends. I think a lot of the time it's up to them whether they show me what they looked like when they died and like how they died, or like what they looked like in their prime. I live right next to a cemetery where there are a lot of soldiers buried, and sometimes I'll see them in uniform, and they're like totally, they look like they're like ready to ship off. And then sometimes I see some of them that are, it's almost like they don't know that they're dead, and they're confused, and they're trying to figure out where they are and what happened. And I'm like, I don't know how to help you because I don't know you.
Do they communicate with you?
Absolutely. I will sit here and have conversations. There have been times where I'm sitting in public talking to somebody, and somebody's like, hey, what are you talking to? And I'm like, them. And they're like, there's no one here.
That's got to be uncomfortable.
Oh, it absolutely is. Sometimes it'd be better if you just thought I was crazy and didn't want to talk to me.
Now, do you use tarot cards or anything like that to communicate or do any readings or anything like that as well?
I am learning how to use my tarot cards and my oracle cards, but I'm not super great at it yet.
I'm not real great at it either. I know that there's different meanings to the different cards, but whenever I use my cards, I kind of just go with what I feel they mean. But talking to other mediums on here in the past, we don't need them, is what I've been told. And I'm kind of starting to believe that.
A lot of the time when mediums use tarot cards and stuff, it's not so much for them, it's for whoever they're reading for.
Mm-hmm.
Because then they can look at the meaning of the cards and understand a little bit better.
So outside of your abilities, you've had other paranormal encounters with like Wendigo and Skinwalker.
So the first time I ever encountered a Wendigo. So a little bit of context. I live on a hill in literally the middle of nowhere on 55 acres of farmland. And quite a good chunk of that is taken up by woods. So I've got lots of things that lurk in the distance. So the first time I saw a Wendigo was 2014. So I would have been 10. And it was the middle of the night. And we were coming back from, I want to say we were at Knoebels. And we had just come back and everybody else was getting ready for bed. And I took the dogs out. And it's like September or October, so it's pitch black outside. And I walked around the side of the house because I thought my cat was in a fight with something. And there stood this absolutely massive creature. And they look almost like black bears, but with humanoid arms and legs and deer skulls for heads. And it was holding my cat. And to this day, I still don't know if it was planning to eat it or if it was just curious. But I was holding a pack of Pop-Tarts and I screamed and I threw the Pop-Tarts at it. And it dropped my cat and it took the Pop-Tarts and it ran away.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh shit. And I came inside and I told my mom, and she was like, we'll see what happens tomorrow. Sometimes you make shit up.
Mm-hmm.
And she was, so I think she was kind of like, did that really happen? Or did you like just drop your Pop-Tarts and didn't want me to know?
First, the way you was describing it to me, it sounded like what could have been a Bigfoot, but I don't think that I've ever heard of Bigfoot putting deer skulls on their head. But there's a couple of other things that I wanted to ask you about, and that was Leah and the twins of the murder wagon.
Oh boy, this is a trip and a half. So I collect reborn dolls to help with my anxiety. And they're basically just baby dolls, but they're painted to look realistic. For my 16th birthday, my grandmother bought me 2. And one is painted like a sugar skull, and her name is Finley. And one is painted to look like a clown, and his name is Wally. One day, me and my mom went to the thrift store. We were walking around, and we got back up to the checkout, and there sat, style pram. It was not there when we came in. And I decided that I needed to have it. I still don't know why or what had possessed me in that moment, but I was like, I need that thing. So we got it. We brought it home. And me and my best friend are sitting in the front yard and we're cleaning it because it's old, it's dusty. So we're cleaning it before we take it in the house. And we pull the blanket that was in it out. We find out that there's dried blood in it. And we're like, oh, that's super great. So we start pulling it apart, and we find there were 4 or 5 old school shotgun rounds inside the mattress that goes inside the pram. And we're like, shit, a shot while pushing this, or a kid was shot while being in here. And I'm like, I'm a really morbidly curious person. So I was like, this is awesome. So we get it all clean and we bring it in and I set everybody up in it and we dove headfirst into trying to figure out what happened. We're like Google searching pictures of it. We're looking up we're trying to figure out what pram it is, who made it, what kind of timeline they were being sold in. Because this thing's like new. And we found an article about this woman named Amelia. And she was shot and killed while pushing her twin infants named Fiona and Wallace. And the twins were shot as well.
Holy cow.
And we found it so interesting that the twins were named Fiona and Wallace. And the two babies that I just got, I had named Finley and Wally.
That is really interesting.
And now, Julia kind of helped in my house. Is just really happy that baby carriage is being used. And we call it the murder wagon.
That's wild. How long did it take you guys to find the article?
Days. Like I said, we were looking up reverse Google searches of the pram. We dug through the whole thing. We were like, surely somewhere on here is like Maker's Mark or something. Like somewhere.
Yeah.
Like there's no like proof that this is that wagon, but Amelia wanders around in my house and like there really that big a chance that it's just a coincidence.
Right. There's a lot of things that are lining up with it though.
Yeah. They're truly that big a chance.
Well, to close this out, is there anything that you wanted to try to plug? I think you still have a business, right? You run a business.
I do. Business is me, my mom, and my grandmother. I make stuffed animals. My grandmother crochets, and my mom does sublimation. You guys can find us on Instagram at Folklore Family. I believe it's folklore_family. And you can find me on Facebook at Pastel Fae Artistry. If you are ever in the market for a weighted anxiety plushie, hit me up.
Yeah, and we'll put those links in the description. That way people are able to find you a little easier. I remember I had, at the convention, I bought a little pig. It was a wax melt.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you so much again for coming on. We really appreciate you sharing your stories with us.
Absolutely. If you guys are ever looking for more stories, I have a plethora more, and I would be more than willing to.
Yeah, that would be great. Luke, did you have anything else?
No, sorry, I kind of been listening. This is what I'm dealing with. So, that's why I haven't been saying much.
That's all good.
So, it was great to hear your stories. Sorry I couldn't be involved more in the conversation. I really wish I could have been.
All right, you have a good day.
You guys too.
All right, bye-bye. Thanks, everybody, for listening to another episode of Exploring the Unknown. We really enjoyed talking to Ayana today and listening to her stories about the Wendigo and Amelia, the twins, and the murder wagon.
Yeah, it was real interesting hearing some of her stories.
I am curious, though, if there are anybody, or, oh, no, there goes your Wendigo. If there are anybody. My grammar sucks. It is horrible. I don't even know how we do this, to be honest with you. But I'm curious if there's anybody out there that has had encounters with Wendigo, or what they believe to be Wendigo.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to hear more stories about the Wendigo and encounters with the Wendigo.
Yeah.
You ready for a podcast mentions?
Yes.
podcast mentions, we have a link below to GhostStop, ghost hunting equipment website, where you can purchase ghost hunting equipment and it helps support the show. ExploreTheUnknownPod.com. Also on the website, we have a Cash App and PayPal. If you don't feel comfortable purchase anything to the link, you can send us money through Cash App or PayPal. And in the description below, there are would you rather questions so we can explore that on a future episode. And YouTube, don't forget to go check out our YouTube.
No, I don't. Maybe, yeah, actually I do. Luke and I have been going live. We're going to try to go live a couple of times a week, so keep an eye out for that. We'll be on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. So I don't think that we really determined the schedule because our schedules are so all over the place and they change every week. So each week's going to be different. So you're going to have to keep an eye out for whenever we make a post. We'll make sure that we make a post on Facebook saying that we're going to be going live. So keep an eye out for that.
Are you ready for the would you rather question?
I am ready.
Would you rather try to escape from a Wendigo chasing you through a blizzard with no shelter in sight, or come face to face with a Wendigo with nothing but a small knife?
Okay, so let's back up. Have we determined whether or not is it a spirit or a flesh and blood thing?
We'll say it's a flesh and blood thing, but I forgot to mention this earlier in the episode. I heard that the only way you can kill one is with ashes and a silver knife.
Is my knife silver?
Yeah, you just have a look about it.
I'm gonna choose the other one.
No, but we'll make it interesting and we'll make it a silver knife. Yes.
Okay.
But the only way you can kill it fully is if you burn it.
Oh, so the knife isn't it isn't a for sure thing.
To make sure it's dead, you have to burn it. That's what I read.
I guess I'm just gonna have to stand and fight it because in the other situation, there's no shelter and there's nowhere for me to go.
And it's a blizzard.
And it's a blizzard. And according to my research, they're super fast. And I'm not trying to do that.
Should I outrun Wendigo?
I don't think I could outrun a turtle.
Y'all have more faith in yourselves than that.
All right.
I think that's all for the Ultra. Do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I don't think so. Except for make sure everybody tunes in to next week's episode where Luke and I will be talking to Dark Side Paranormal.
Is that all?
That's it.
Till next time, keep exploring the unknown.
Keep exploring the unknown.